Little children, it is the last hour, and as you have heard that the Antichrist is coming, even now many Antichrists have come, by which we know that it is the last hour. This verse from 1 John 2 verse 18 sets the stage for our exploration into the mysterious and often misunderstood figure of the Antichrist. Welcome to Celestial Chronicles, where we delve into the fascinating and sometimes terrifying aspects of biblical prophecy and history. Don't forget to join our channel for more enlightening content. Early Christians believed that the Roman Emperor Nero was the Antichrist. Nero's persecution of Christians and his notorious cruelty made him an obvious candidate for this ominous title. The idea that the Antichrist was not a single, future figure but could be any person or power opposing Christ began to take root. Throughout history, various figures have been labeled as the Antichrist. Adolf Hitler, with his genocidal actions during World War II, was a prime example in the 20th century. But why have so many different people been called the Antichrist? Is it possible that the Antichrist is not a single individual but a recurring archetype? The Bible gives us vivid descriptions of the Antichrist using symbolic language. In the book of Daniel, we see visions of strange beasts with horns. These beasts represent kingdoms and rulers who are against God's people. The book of Revelation continues this imagery. It describes a terrifying beast rising from the sea. This beast has 10 horns and 7 heads, making it seem very powerful and scary. What do these strange symbols mean? The horns usually stand for power and authority. This means the Antichrist will have great influence and control. The beast itself represents a kingdom or empire that opposes God. The heads on the beast can symbolize different rulers or important aspects of that empire. These symbols help us understand that the Antichrist will be a powerful entity, not just one person. This entity will use its power to deceive people and persecute those who are faithful to God. By understanding these symbols, we can be more aware and prepared for the challenges that might come. Prophecies about the Antichrist often describe a future world leader who will start out appearing peaceful and kind. This leader will gain a lot of support from people all around the world. However, after gaining power, this leader will show their true colors and begin to persecute God's people. This period of false peace followed by persecution is said to last for a specific time, often thought to be 7 years. But how can we recognize such a leader? Are there signs we should be watching for today? The Bible warns us to be careful and alert. It tells us that the Antichrist will use lies and deception to achieve their goals. This means that the Antichrist might seem good at first, but we need to look deeper and be cautious. By studying these prophecies, we can be more prepared for what might come. We can learn to recognize the signs and not be fooled by appearances. It's important to stay informed and keep our faith strong so we can face any challenges that arise. Why do the biblical prophecies focus so much on the Antichrist? One reason is to prevent deception. Jesus warned his followers that false prophets and false Christs would arise, leading many astray. By understanding these prophecies, Christians can guard against being misled. Another purpose is to offer hope and encouragement. Despite the terrifying imagery, the Bible assures us that God's plan will ultimately prevail. The prophecies reveal that the Antichrist's reign is temporary, and Jesus will return to establish his eternal kingdom. This hope gives Christians the strength to endure and remain faithful. Different Christian traditions offer various interpretations of the Antichrist. Some view the Antichrist as a future world leader, while others see it as a symbol of ongoing opposition to Christ throughout history. Some believe the prophecies have already been fulfilled, while others anticipate future fulfillment. What do you think? Could the Antichrist be an individual we haven't yet encountered, or is it an ongoing presence in our world? How do these differing interpretations impact your understanding of the end times? The book of Daniel has some of the earliest and most detailed prophecies about the Antichrist. In Daniel's visions, he sees beasts with many heads and horns. These beasts represent different empires and rulers that rise and fall over time. One important vision shows a little horn coming up among 10 horns. Many people think this little horn is the Antichrist. This little horn is very boastful and proud. It speaks against God and makes war against God's people, the saints. But the vision ends with hope. The Ancient of Days, who is God, comes and judges the little horn. God then establishes his eternal kingdom, bringing peace and justice. How do these ancient visions relate to our modern world? Are there any parallels between Daniel's prophecies and what we see happening today? For example, do we see any leaders or movements that start small but become very powerful and proud, opposing God's ways? These questions help us think about how Daniel's prophecies might be relevant now. Understanding these connections can help us stay alert and faithful in our own times. The book of Revelation builds on the prophecies from Daniel, giving us an even clearer and more vivid picture of the end times. John, the author of Revelation, describes a terrifying beast rising from the sea. Many people believe this beast represents the Antichrist. This beast tricks the world and demands to be worshipped, while persecuting those who stay faithful to God. Revelation also introduces another important figure called the false prophet. The false prophet works with the Antichrist to deceive humanity. They perform amazing signs and wonders that lead many people astray. These two figures use their powers to spread lies and gain control over people. In today's world, we have modern technology and media that reach millions of people instantly. What role do you think these tools might play in fulfilling these ancient prophecies? Could the widespread influence of social media, the internet, and other technologies be used for deception? It's easy to see how powerful leaders or false prophets could use these tools to spread their messages quickly and convincingly. This is why it's important for us to be careful about what we believe and to always seek the truth. Throughout history, many people have been accused of being the Antichrist. From Roman Emperor Nero to Napoleon, Adolf Hitler, and even some more recent leaders, there has always been speculation about who this prophesied figure might be. But what qualities make someone a candidate for the title of Antichrist? The Antichrist is often seen as someone with great influence and power. They might be a charismatic leader who can easily sway people. Their actions often align with biblical descriptions, such as opposing God and persecuting God's people. They might use deception and false promises to gain support. In more recent times, some have pointed to global leaders, wealthy financial moguls, or influential figures in technology and entertainment as possible candidates. The speculation usually focuses on their immense influence, actions, and any behaviors that seem to fit the descriptions in the Bible. Do you think it's wise to label contemporary figures as the Antichrist, or does this distract from the deeper message of the prophecies? While it's natural to wonder and speculate, focusing too much on labeling individuals can sometimes take away from the broader lessons the Bible teaches. The important thing is to stay alert, seek truth, and understand the signs without getting caught up in fear or speculation. The concept of the Antichrist has permeated popular culture, appearing in books, movies, and television shows. These portrayals often exaggerate or distort biblical descriptions, creating a more sensational and terrifying image. How do these cultural depictions influence our understanding of the Antichrist? Popular culture can shape our perceptions, sometimes reinforcing misconceptions or fears. It's important to discern the difference between fictional portrayals and the biblical account. Have you encountered any movies or books that influenced your view of the Antichrist? How did they compare to the biblical descriptions? One of the key messages of the Antichrist prophecies is the importance of discernment. Jesus warned his followers to be on guard against deception. The Apostle Paul echoed this, advising Christians to test everything and hold on to what is good. In our world of information overload, how can we practice discernment? What steps can we take to ensure we are not led astray by false teachings or sensational claims? Engaging with the Bible and seeking understanding through prayer and study are essential. The church plays a crucial role in helping believers understand the complex prophecies about the Antichrist. Through teaching and community, the church offers a space where people can discuss and interpret these challenging topics. How has your church talked about the Antichrist? Church leaders can provide valuable insights and guidance. They help make the prophecies easier to understand and show how they apply to our lives today. They can explain the symbols and messages in the Bible, helping us see the bigger picture. The church also provides a support network for those who feel scared or confused about the end times. It's a place where we can ask questions, share our thoughts, and find comfort. Church leaders and fellow believers can pray with us, offer encouragement, and remind us of God's promises. By being part of a church community, we can grow in our understanding and faith, staying strong and hopeful even when facing difficult topics like the Antichrist. Understanding the prophecies about the Antichrist can be a deeply personal journey. It challenges us to examine our beliefs, our worldviews, and our readiness for the future. How have these prophecies impacted your faith? Reflecting on these prophecies can lead to a deeper commitment to Christ and a greater sense of urgency in sharing the gospel. It can also inspire us to live more faithfully, knowing that our actions have eternal significance. While the prophecies about the Antichrist can seem scary and overwhelming, they actually carry a message of hope. These prophecies remind us that evil will not win in the end. God's plan is in control, and His kingdom will be established forever. How can we hold on to this hope in our daily lives? We can start by focusing on God's promises. The Bible assures us that God is with us and will never leave us. Remembering that God is in control helps us stay strong, even when things seem tough. We can also encourage others to find hope amidst the troubling aspects of prophecy. Sharing stories of God's faithfulness and reminding others of His promises can bring comfort and strength. How do you stay hopeful when faced with scary predictions? By focusing on God's ultimate victory, we can face challenges with confidence. We know that no matter what happens, God's love and power are greater than any evil. This assurance helps us navigate life's difficulties and support one another in faith. Staying connected with our faith community, praying, and reading the Bible regularly are practical ways to keep our hope alive. When we support each other and lean on God's promises, we can face the future with courage and trust in His plan. The concept of the Antichrist is complex and multifaceted, woven into the fabric of biblical prophecy and history. Whether viewed as a single future figure or a recurring archetype, the Antichrist represents the ultimate opposition to Christ and His followers. By studying these prophecies, we can better understand the nature of this opposition and prepare ourselves for whatever the future holds. How do you plan to apply this knowledge in your life? What steps will you take to deepen your understanding of biblical prophecy? Thank you for joining us on this journey through the intriguing and sometimes perplexing world of the Antichrist. We hope this exploration has provided you with insights and inspiration to continue your study. Don't forget to subscribe to Celestial Chronicles for more deep dives into biblical topics. Share your thoughts and questions in the comments. We love hearing from you.